Hey everyone, I just got back from the comic book store. I've got a haul that is not, I don't think it's today's new comics. I think it's yesterday's new comics. Putting on my computer glasses since I'm sitting in front of my computer. Portland has, first we were snowed in, then we were iced in, and so the last week's comics, I guess, came yesterday. I was hoping this week's comics would come too, and I'd be able to pick up both. But apparently they're now thinking they'll come in tomorrow. So let me show you what I've got. A little complexity is on one of the snowed-in days I went for a walk around the neighborhood. As you may remember, my comic book store is right down the street and around the corner. So I walked by there, and they happened to be open, so I started browsing. I had more time than usual, and looking at their hardbacks. And I picked out 2 hardbacks, but I didn't feel like carrying them home with me. I wanted to continue my walk, so I left them there, already paid for, picked them up today when I picked up these other comics. So let me show you those hardbacks first. First, I picked up something called, I can't even pronounce it, Ralph Azham. Why Would You Lie to Someone You Love by Louis Trondheim. And it is a translated European comic. Trondheim is a master, fun, irreverent, and filled with moments of truthfulness. Just when you think you know where he's taking you, he suddenly turns sideways and surprises. Oh, that's a blurb from Jeff Smith. Louis Trondheim launches an ambitious, rollicking, and entirely original fantasy epic featuring a reluctant hero whose status as the village pariah is about to change. So this was totally me kind of experimenting. It looks like the characters are actually animals, which they don't mention on the back cover. A duck and a cat, maybe. I kind of liked the look of it. I felt like something different. Nicely bound hardback, because it's from Fantagraphics. I assume it's translated from French. I don't know what kind of name Trondheim is. So there's that. And then I got another Moebius book. Moebius and Jodorowsky, the famous film director, who's also the writer of Incal, The Mad Woman of the Sacred Heart. The comic book store owner chuckled when I picked it up. I guess he said he'd read it and it was really something, but he didn't say any more than that. I assume this is not safe for work. I assume this is later Moebius, but I don't really know. I haven't really heard much about this particular volume. I think it was $40. Yep. No, $30. That's pretty good for a European hardback. And then I got a 25% discount. And one reason why I go ahead and buy things like the Humanoids books at my comic book store, which I get a decent discount at 25%, is because Humanoids books are never as steeply discounted on in-stock trades as the more standard brands like Image and Dark Horse. I'm not sure why that is. Okay, and then actually, on another day, my daughter and I ventured down the icy sidewalks and went to the second closest. Well, it's hard to say between the 3. There's one that's really close to my house, and then there's 2 that aren't really that far. Anyway, the newest one, called Books with Pictures, which is more the feminist comic book store, but also the family comic book store, because they've got a section with beanbag chairs and little chairs and a little table, and it's surrounded by all the kids' graphics novels and stuff. And that's where we got, for my daughter, we got The Babysitter's Club. Oh, darn. And I got this, I think it's local, but anyway, small press magazine called Baybel Bodysuit by Eric Caustic Williams. I haven't had a chance to look really closely at it, but the art kind of grabbed my attention when I was browsing at the bookstore. So that looks really cool. It was $6, and I no discount at that shop. And while I was at it at that shop, I went ahead and bought Mockingbird, which I've been curious about because a lot of people have been reading it in trade after it got all that news around it and saying it's really good. And I read the first 3 issues at lunchtime, and they were really good. It makes the character of Mockingbird really fun and lively, and the storytelling is done with really cool pacing, with each issue having its own kind of angle on the story. So I really like that. And each issue is sort of partially one and done. So that's looking to be a really good series. I guess there'll probably be one more trade, right? And again, still at Books with Pictures, I picked up Motor Crush #1. I thought I'd try that. I initially had looked at the art in a preview and not been thrilled. It didn't look like my kind of thing, but it's several people who often have tastes similar to mine said it was really good, so I give it a try. I picked up Motro #1 because my shop never got Motro #1. I've got 2 and 3. And I picked up Shade, The Changing Girl #3 because I had missed that also at my regular shop, but I'm now getting it there. I got #4 there. And one more thing, just a second. And I bought 2 copies of Superheroes and Pets Papercraft. For some reason, I just really like the idea of these papercraft things. You kind of punch them out from the page and fold them up and connect the slots, and then you get things like Bane and the Flash. And here's Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy. And I thought this Black Canary was pretty cool. I think the actual drawing part is all by Art Balthazar. And there must be somebody who's an expert in making these fold-out things that took his art and did that. We haven't done any of the big ones yet, like Wonder Woman or Superman or Batman, but we're working our way slowly through it. And I bought a second one so that everyone in the family, if they want to, can do whatever hero they want. It also, if you're thinking for your kids, it has these character bios at the beginning. So it's a really fun book for people who want to get their kids more into DC superheroes or, keep them busy on a rainy day. And in the back, it's got the pets, which are just one-dimensional but have little things to prop them up on. Okay, and then it seems like my haul that I just got, which is really last week's comics, was pretty darn fat. Look at that. So, first we got Richard Corbin's Shadows on the Grave, which I have also bought digital because I was too impatient to wait for it to come in, so I've read 2/3 of this already digitally and enjoyed it quite a bit. Although, as everyone points out, it's still true that the stories could be longer. There. Here is, I think this is #4 of 4, so I think it's the end of Gru, Fray of the Gods, which the first 3 issues have been excellent, hilarious, wonderfully drawn, wonderfully colored. I don't remember putting this on my pull list. I'm going to have to check, but God Country. Maybe there was something I read in solicits about it that I liked. It's a $3.99 book. I'm trying to limit these $3.99 books to ones I feel like I have to have, and on the rest, wait for trade. A have to have one is Shipwreck, so I'm really happy to get the next issue of Shipwreck. It's kind of a mysterious, very mysterious story, but very cool art, and I like the mystery of it. Here's Motro issue 3. So now I have issue 1. I can start reading Motro and maybe give you guys my thoughts on it later. Action Comics has been one of those bubblegum popcorn reads, but it still continues to be a really good popcorn read. Luthor guilty and there's Superman as his executioner. We'll see if that is real. Red Hood and the Outlaws. I'm way behind on reading this. I really want to catch up soon. I liked the issues I've read, but I think I have 2 or 3 issues to read. Moonshine. Great art, but just a totally unmemorable story. I just read the 3rd issue a few days ago, and I can't really tell you much of what happened in it. Something with the mob and Moonshine. Titans has been really good, so I'm actually looking forward to reading the next issue of this, despite art that I haven't liked. And now it looks like the art is by Lee Weeks, who is a really great artist. It's funny to have this really brilliant artist be the fill-in artist for an artist who I thought is a very much a C-level artist. But anyway, and I think of Lee Weeks as an A-level artist. Or maybe Lee Weeks will be taking over for a while. That would be cool. That looks beautiful. Looks like really good coloring, too. Deathstroke's been really good, but again, another one that I'm falling behind on. New Superman I've been keeping up with. I've been really liking it a lot, both the art and the story. Really fun, kind of humorous superhero story. Oh yeah, Birthright. Really psyched to get that. One of my favorites. Green Valley, kind of even though it's an image book, kind of a popcorn read, a very fun, quirky popcorn read. So I'm looking forward to that. Wonder Woman. I struggle with Wonder Woman. I keep losing the thread on this, although I'm keeping up with it. I only vaguely have a sense of she's discovered that all of her recent history is false, but why or how she discovered that and what that means, I don't know. Detective Comics. I actually am halfway through the last issue of Detective. It felt like the plot wrapped up in the middle of the issue, and I kind of put it down. So I have to go back so then I can read this, and there's this kind of Batwoman Begins. She's been around a while, but I guess she's it should be like Batwoman Rises or something, I think. And Superwomen or Superwomans. It's just weird the way they put that S at the end. I am way behind on this one. It was kind of dragging for me, but I think I saw in solicits that maybe it was a fill-in issue, but I saw a solicit for an issue with a different writer than Phil Jimenez. And if he's gone, I'm probably gone from this. Even though it's been only so-so for me, what I have liked about it, I feel like came from Phil Jimenez. So that's my pull. Got to pick my daughter up at school in about 15 minutes. Maybe I can read one comic before then. I will talk to you all later. Live long and prosper.